Hi, this is Anton Praslov, and in this video I want to show you how to use my software, King of Mnemonics, to learn how to calculate simple cubic roots in your head in just a few hours. So in just a few hours you'll be able to learn how to calculate things like what is the cubic root of 103,823 in your head in mere seconds. Now, this is not the only thing you'll be able to learn using King of Mnemonics. You can learn much more difficult cubic roots, you can learn weekdays, etc. But I want to show you this first, just so that you'll get a feeling for the software itself. But let's start from the very beginning. Now, if you're an XP user, then all you have to do is to double-click the program icon. However, if you are a Windows 7 user, then you have to right-click on the program icon with your mouse and select Run as Administrator. Notice this shield icon. Then you have to press Yes and write your name. Now we have started the program. You can select the cubic roots algorithm. But now you see that most of the exercises are gray. You cannot access them. However, if you move right on the menu, eventually you will find some exercises that you can access. And those exercises are typically tables, something which you simply have to memorize. Now, there are two ways of memorizing tables. You can simply press the hint button lots of times until you memorize all the values that you need. As you can see, there aren't that many values, so you will learn it eventually. It's 27, 64, etc. Or you can go to the tutorial and simply find the table that you need, such as the Apollo table, and memorize it before you start King of Mnemonics. Now, in the beginning, your results will be unsatisfactory. You'll keep getting this kind of message. Keep trying. This is perfectly normal, and your score will improve rapidly. Just trust me on this. So eventually, let's say after an hour or so, you'll gain access to the Perseus function. And I say function because this kind of exercise is no longer a table that you have to memorize. This is a thinking exercise. Fortunately, as you can see here, this is called the expander mode. This is really the very heart of King of Mnemonics. The expander mode ensures that for every kind of question, you have a step-by-step explanation as to how to get to the answer. So for instance, what is the largest number in the Apollo table that is smaller than or equal to 368? The answer to that is 343. And you'll know this because by now you know the Apollo table very well. And you'll also know that the cubic root of 343 equals 7. And the question is, what is Perseus of 368? Now, as you can see here, the only things remaining in the end is the question and the answer. So the answer to that is 7. Now, what is the largest number in the Apollo table that is smaller than or equal to 57? That would be 27. The cubic root of that equals 3. And the answer is 3. Also notice this question mark right here. Often it will say something important about how to solve this exercise, but mostly it's just some information about this hero or god that this exercise is named after. such as Hero Perseus. Okay, let's fast forward a bit. You have now answered almost 12 Perseus questions correctly in a row. You have only 2 to go. And as you can see, the regular mode is locked, but now it will become unlocked. So now you can solve this exercise and get a score. As you can see, it's the same deal with the ticking clock here, and you have to solve it as fast as possible. Also, if you're stuck in some question, just press hint and you'll get a step-by-step explanation as to how to solve it. Such as, you don't know what Perseus of 6 is, so you just do it step by step. The largest number in the poll table equals 1, cubic root of 1 is 1, Perseus of 6 is 1. And you can go back to regular mode afterwards. Now, eventually, you will get a satisfactory score in the Perseus exercise, and also you'll learn the Aphrodite table, and this will become accessible. Let's fast forward yet again. So now you have finally gained access to the 4 to 6 digits exercise, and after just a few hours of using King of Mnemonics, you can now calculate cubic roots of relatively small numbers, and it's really not that difficult. In fact, I could have explained this algorithm using just a few words, but the central premise of King of Mnemonics is that in each and every exercise, for each and every question, you should have a step-by-step explanation of how to do it, so that you're never stuck. And for instance, if you don't know the answer to this question, you can always select the explanatory mode or click the hint button, and you'll have a step-by-step explanation. Trust me, by now you'll know exactly what Perseus of 32 is, and you'll also know what Aphrodite of 8 is. As usual, the only things left here is the question and the answer. And the answer is 3 to 32. In fact, that's why there are so many exercises in King of Mnemonics. It's not that my algorithms are difficult, but I want to make sure that in each and every exercise you can have this step-by-step kind of explanation so that you're never stuck. Thank you for watching. You can now move on to learning more difficult cubic roots, or the weekdays algorithm, or other algorithms. Good luck.